Almost everybody cried on Monday night's episode of The Bachelorette. Blake cried because he's in love with Becca and can't stop thinking about the fact that she might be in love with other people. He spent about 80% of his interactions with Becca telling her about his worry that she might pick somebody else, which seemed self-defeating. "You're on a dating show, buddy. Get over it." Garrett cried because he's in love with Becca, but also because he's been in love before and got married and divorced, and he worries the same thing might happen. And Becca cried because she had to dump somebody. You could have figured out which somebody it was going to be pretty early in the episode. Becca explained about 5 minutes into the episode that she's in love with 2 men, Blake and Garrett, and falling in love with a third, Jason. She couldn't quite explain why. Hint, it's because she thinks the other 2 guys are hotter, which isn't something you can say out loud, even on a show as superficial as The Bachelorette, but she knew her potential future is with Blake or Garrett. Becca's feelings here took a lot of the verve out of an episode that's typically pretty dramatic. Jason didn't even make it to the bedroom portion of the fantasy suite date, as Becca opted for a mid-dinner dumping. That left just 2 men for a climactic rose ceremony with 2 roses. The show tried to reinsert some drama by having Jason return toward the end of the episode. ABC producer, Jason, we already paid for your hotel room for the whole week, and honestly, it's gonna cost us like $700 to change your flight, so, wanna hang around for a few days and talk to Becca again?" But Jason even gave her a relationship scrapbook. That same ABC producer, since you're not really doing anything for the next few days besides sitting in your hotel room, wanna put together a scrapbook? Our interns will help. Somehow, Jason was the only main character featured in this episode not to cry, despite the fact that he was the only one who got dumped. Also not weeping, various time monks, Chris Harrison. He almost cried the second time he talked to Becca about the dumping, but held off. His composure was honestly impressive. He didn't badger Becca to take him back. He didn't force her to give him answers about why, and he seemed to mean all the nice things he said about her future. And in doing so, Jason may have become the front runner to become the lead on the next season of The Bachelor. If ABC wanted that eventual outcome, the studio basically groomed him for the role in this episode. He's fun and sweet and kind. The only hold-up is the hotness thing we're going to have to do something about his hockey hair. Becca came into the season with a catchphrase, "Let's do the damn thing," which, surprisingly, she hasn't used that much. Monday night, her catchphrase was simply shouting "We're in Thailand" when she was enjoying herself, but couldn't come up with anything to say. She said "We're in Thailand" at least 3 times in the episode, even after she'd already been in Thailand for a week. Becca's not particularly good at figuring out what to say. Her new move is just straight up leaving conversations when she isn't sure how to handle something. She did it 2 weeks ago after Colton revealed his virginity, and twice Monday night when she wasn't sure how to tell Jason that she wasn't as into him as she was the other guys. The Bachelorette Recap. Tears rain down on the fantasy suites.